Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is an amazing looking game, but before you start, there is one graphic option that stands above the rest, and you should absolutely turn it on to get the best experience possible. Sure, there's obviously fidelity and performance mode, but if your TV supports it, you should be utilizing variable refresh rate and 120 Hz to get the best setting the game has to offer, as it pushes the PlayStation 5 to pump out both stunning visuals and the highest frame rate available. Again, your TV will need both a variable refresh rate and 120 Hz mode. This will allow you to pick Fidelity VRR uncapped. To give you a glimpse of just how much of a difference the frame rate makes, here's a side-by-side comparison of footage we slowed down to 25% to show just how much better this option will look in motion when you play. 120 Hz mode can only be captured in 1080p resolution, but on your television, you would still be playing in glorious 4K resolution. A close runner-up would be Fidelity Smooth with VRR to get a locked 40 frames per second at all times. Now, we've selected this as our top pick because in our tests, you will get all the best features such as ray tracing and higher end native resolution, alongside a frame rate that pushes up to 50 FPS and usually locks around 45 frames per second, which means you get the best of both worlds. It's well above the 30 FPS lock mode you'd have with the default fidelity and 60 Hz mode selected. To set this on your television, you'll usually need to make sure that the game mode is selected and that your specific model has additional features activated. On the Samsung television we're using here, we needed to have game mode set to auto or on, and the rest took care of itself. This particular Samsung model clearly indicates what modes are turned on for the television. With the latest PlayStation update, you can actually run a test to see what your television is capable of. Hit the PlayStation button, go to Settings, Screen and Video, and then Information for the connected HDMI device. Before running your tests though, be sure to make sure Game Mode, or whatever your TV calls it, is turned on so the PlayStation can detect what your device is capable of. If you have both VRR and 120 Hz available, you'll see that information here. Now, if you'd instead prefer a smoother frame rate, you could of course select VRR Smooth. With VRR Smooth, you will get a locked 40 frames per second. When you look at the footage side by side, it's very hard to tell the difference, but in quality mode, you get a higher native resolution, and in performance mode, you do get more frame rate, but in wider open sections, you might notice things like level of detail pop in, as noted in our performance review. And seeing you can barely tell the difference visually, we definitely give the edge to quality mode if your television supports it. Performance mode can see some pretty high frame rates, especially if you have a 120 Hz capable display with VRR, but we still give the edge to quality mode, be that uncapped or smooth. If you don't have 120 Hz or variable refresh rate, then this is one case where quality seems to really shine, and it's also what Insomniac thinks is the best overall presentation of Spider-Man 2. However, if you're an FPS snob like me and just can't give up at least 60 frames per second, there's always performance mode, which sacrifices a lot of the visual elements like ray tracing, but you get a wonderfully smooth 60 frames per second at 4K resolution. Of course, you could also pick the higher frame rate mode with the 120 Hz version, which will get you some staggering frame rates, but you do sacrifice a lot in terms of visual fidelity. But at the end of the day, no matter what you choose, you get a great experience with Spider-Man 2. What's your favorite setting for Spider-Man 2? Let us know in the comments, and for more on all things gaming, keep it right here at IGN.